often ask immigrants, where did you come from and how did you get here? For the Salazars, it started in the 1960s in the Philippines with the family's matriarch, Gloria. Born to a Chinese father and Filipino mother, she and her husband Norlito were working toward the American dream before they even realized it.
We don't watch a lot of television. My father won't allow that because we don't have television. Right. Because we have a business to tend to. After school, you work. You peel vegetable, you do this, do that for the next day to serve the people. It's hard. It's a lot of work that we do. So I grew up that way. They want us to work hard and land on our feet and not on our head. That's what my dad said.
Hard work was instilled not only in my mother, but also in my father, who grew up in Castillejo, Zambales, outside the U.S. Naval Base Subic Bay.
I was a young man with another friend who would wait for the soldier. What they call it, the GI, you know, the American soldier would come out and they would shine their shoes. And he always told me that I waited for them to come out so I can, not only I can get the money that they pay me, you know, to change, you know, it's to hear them say something in English. It's like a nice ring to my ear, and it gives me the hope and guts that someday I can be in their shoes, working for the Navy.
My father joined the U.S. Navy in 1963, but it was just the first step in their journey to life in America.
I always think that it always, when things happen, it's for a reason. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons. I'm there now in the United States, in America.
Right.
So what else can be so wrong?
Right. So you were thinking, I'm starting my American dream.
Amen.
Even though they were in a new and foreign land, the Salazars felt safe.
I think what makes me feel that way is because I have a lot of confidence in this country, myself.
Right.
And I have to make that sure that my children understand that.
Moving halfway across the world meant leaving behind the familiar and beloved.
Number one is my father.
Family.
Family is always. Number two, the people there.
But there is no handbook on how to fit in when moving to a new country.
The nun had called me and explained to me, she said, from now on, you try not to talk to them in Tagalog at home. I said, why? I said, that's our language. They need to learn that. She said, no, because they will pick up your accent. I was hurt a little bit because I thought that some people can do both.
Even though she was trying to fit in as an American, the work ethic from her Chinese upbringing helped the family reach a milestone.
Everybody said, you live in Hawaii, it's a very expensive place. Yes, I believe that. But if you keep working, you save your money. When we came back to Virginia, I have saved $13,000, enough to put a down payment on our house. It's not a big house, but it's a house.
Achieving that financial milestone was overshadowed by racism at work.
So she would call me this way. Hey, come here. Right here. This is where you put it. Hurry up. Get over here. And that really hurt my feeling. It's like, in my country, you only do this when you're calling the dog.
Right.
Not the person. At that time, I did not think of my family. I went to the manager and I said, I'm punching out. He said, you don't have an appointment. I said, this is my appointment. I'm leaving. I'm quitting. And I explained to him what happened. I went home. And not even an hour, Mr. Lazar, who used to be the head of the Bilo market, had called me. Gloria, I heard what happened. And I said, yes, Mr. Lazar, I cannot take that. No one could do that to me, like a dog, you know? And that lady was a Caucasian. I don't know if because I'm Filipino.
But it wasn't just her own strength that helped her overcome the racism.
I think what really helps me a lot is prayer, number one. Number two, my husband always told me that I'm gutsy. He said, you got a lot of guts.
40 years later, the racism didn't fade. It followed her into retirement.
And I happened to sneeze. Before I can turn around, the guy had told me, I bet you're Chinese. I turned around and I said, what's wrong? He goes, you're sneezing. That means you're Chinese. So that is racism. And then he turned around and then he said, I bet you're Chinese and you are also a Democrat. I said, yeah, I am. And I didn't know how to handle it. The way I was just shocked. The way I never been talked that way in the year that I lived in this country, almost 55. It's 55 years. And then one of my co-senior said, well, Gloria, he could have said that to all of us. Here, I said, did you look at yourself? You're Caucasian. I'm Chinese Filipino. He would not say that to you. I would answer back to the person who told me that. And I would confront him.
Right.
Because if we were outside the building, I would smack him. I can reach him and smack him. He's not any taller than I am. Of course, he's a man. And I didn't want a big commotion because I don't want to be locked up either.
Some say that immigrants are a burden on the government, but this is far from true.
I'm always want to help people the way this country helped me and more. After my exercise, I go and help. Meals on Wheels, I go to the other side of the room and fed the people that can't get up and get their food. I help them.
My mother's pearls of wisdom for immigrants comes from 55 years of being an American.
Hear what they have to say, then express your opinion, and then love them. You have to stand up for your rights. Whatever it is, if you know it's right, do it. If it's not right, do not do it, because I'm the one's gonna hit you in the head with the 2x4 for sure, and they know I could do it, Come equipped. Majority of the people from our country, the Philippines, I would say they're well educated. But behind that education, you have to be also equipped with sacrifice. You have to sacrifice. You have to be, you have stand up for your right and not just buckle down. Because sometimes if you don't, you could be killed.
The American dream is alive and well despite the world's upheaval. Everyone has a different definition of the American dream.
I didn't have a very high education, and you know that. But my dream is bigger than my body, I think. Taller than me.